Imagine a man who scammed thousands of people, ruined families, broke the rules of Wall Street, went to prison, and somehow walked out even richer and more famous than before. This is the strange, unbelievable story of Jordan Belfort, a man who turned lying into a career, chaos into a lifestyle, and crime into celebrity status. People lost everything, yet the world still cheers for him. So, how did he pull this off? And why do people still admire the Wolf of Wall Street? Before the world called him the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort was just another smooth talking salesman, but with an unbelievable talent for making people believe anything he said. Crowds loved him, investors trusted him. Even when the truth was slipping right through their fingers, his confidence made everything feel real. And that's the dangerous part. Scammers don't always look like villains. Sometimes they look like heroes. Jordan didn't just talk, he performed. Every word, every gesture, every smile was crafted to make people believe he knew something they didn't.
Are you ready to make history? Because I am. And together we can achieve anything we set our minds to.
To his audience, he looked like a genius who had cracked the secret code of getting rich. And the more he acted like a hero, the more people followed him.
The secret to wealth isn't about luck. It's about taking action right now.
The truth didn't matter. The performance did. And Jordan Belfort was one of the best performers Wall Street had ever seen. Before Jordan could twist the system, you need to understand how the system is supposed to work. A real company sells tiny pieces of itself called shares. When the company grows, those shares usually become more valuable. Investors buy them hoping the business will succeed, and everyone benefits when it does. It's simple, clean, and mostly honest when real companies are involved. But Jordan wasn't interested in real companies. Now here's where Jordan's story takes a turn. Instead of selling shares of real companies, he discovered penny stocks. Tiny, unknown businesses with prices so low they seemed harmless. People thought, it's only a few cents, why not? But that false sense of safety is exactly why penny stocks are a scammer's dream. They're cheap, they're unstable, and they can be manipulated with almost no effort. And Jordan realized he could make massive commissions off them, way more than any normal broker ever could. Jordan didn't start as the wolf. He began as an ambitious young broker chasing the classic Wall Street dream. Big money, fast promotions, and a life of success. But when a market crash wiped out his firm on his very first day as a licensed broker, everything fell apart. That's when he stumbled into the world of penny stocks. And the moment he saw the commissions, 50% per trade, something clicked. This wasn't Wall Street, but it was a gold mine. With his new discovery, Jordan created something completely different, a high-pressure selling machine called Stratton Oakmont. Picture a loud room packed with young, hungry salesmen yelling into phones all day long. They weren't experts. They didn't know anything about the companies they were selling. But Jordan trained them to sound confident. Confident enough to make anyone believe they were missing out on the next big thing. The scripts were aggressive, the energy was insane, and the money was flowing. The magic of Stratton Oakmont wasn't the stocks, it was the scripts. Jordan's salesmen didn't guess or improvise. They followed exact lines designed to trigger fear, greed, and urgency. Every call promised massive returns. Every hesitation from the customer was flipped back on them. And the truth was never part of the conversation. These scripts were psychological weapons, and Jordan used them to turn ordinary people into relentless selling machines. Here's Jordan's entire scam, broken down into the simplest steps. First, he quietly bought huge amounts of tiny penny stocks when they were worth almost nothing. Then his salesmen aggressively hyped these stocks to everyday investors, creating a fake wave of demand. As the price shot up, Jordan dumped his shares at the very top, pocketing massive profits. And when the price collapsed, the investors he tricked were left with nothing. Simple, cruel, and unbelievably effective. With millions pouring in, Jordan Belfort didn't just get rich, he built a fantasy world. The mansions, the yachts, the cars, the parties, Everything was bigger, louder, and more ridiculous than reality. He surrounded himself with people who worshipped him, bought anything he pointed at, and lived every day like the money would never stop. His lifestyle became a cartoon version of success, over the top, explosive, and completely unsustainable. But nothing that big and that illegal stays hidden forever. As Jordan's empire grew, so did the problems. Investors started asking questions, journalists started digging, and eventually the FBI began to watch every move Stratton Oakmont made. The louder the parties got, the more suspicious the world became. And behind the scenes, cracks were forming. Jordan had built an empire on lies, and now it was all about to collapse. After the investigation, the lawsuits, and the chaos, Jordan finally went to prison. But here's the twist. Prison didn't end his story. It launched a brand new one. When he got out, he wrote a book about his life, taught sales seminars, and Hollywood turned his story into a blockbuster movie. Instead of being remembered as a criminal, he became a celebrity, a meme, a motivational speaker, a man paid to teach the same persuasion skills he once used to scam people.
Welcome, everyone. Are you ready to 10x your sales today? Because I am here to tell you exactly how we're going to achieve that.
In the end, Jordan Belfort became a symbol, not of success, but of how far greed can push a person. His rise was built on confidence and charisma, but his downfall was built into the foundation from the start. And even though he reinvented himself after prison, the truth never changes. Thousands of people lost money, and trust is much harder to rebuild than fortune. His story isn't a blueprint for getting rich. It's a reminder to question what sounds too good to be true.